Hey there, thank you for joining me yet again. It's Tasha G, the Transformation Guide, and today we are on day 3 of Time to Unpause and Make Yourself a Priority. So as you come in, please share this with at least one person that you know that needs to hear it, and then let me know if you are new here, where you found me at, and if you've been here for a while, just drop a heart for me, okay? So for those of you who don't know who I am, and you might be coming across this live a little later, or maybe somebody sharing it with you and you're popping in, I'm Tasha G, the Transformation Guide. And what I do is I unapologetically share my healing journey and how it pertains to me processing past pain so I can move forward in my life and unapologetically love myself. And in me doing so, I've learned that I can help others with the process because that's just my gift, right? So I've helped dozens of women realize that they have literally paused making themselves a priority because of other things in their life, and they're realizing now the importance of taking care of themselves. So as you come in, share this with somebody, come back to me and let me know that you shared it, okay? And if you've been on here for the last 2 nights, hey, I want to let you know what we went over briefly, and if you missed it, the replays are up, so make sure you check those out, okay? So on Tuesday night, we went over how did you get here? The things that made you pause putting yourself first. Hey, hi, Beverly. Hi, Anelji. And then on Wednesday night, we went over how emotional wellness can help you put yourself first, all right? These are very important topics. I'm spending between 30 minutes to an hour to make sure that I not only present you with what I know and my experiences, but I also want to hear from you because I truly understand the importance of feeling seen and heard in your life. And if you're not feeling seen and heard, that is a lot of emotional damage there too. Thank you for sharing. So as promised last night, here's one of my gifts that I have for you all. I have my text number so you can join my text community. You'll receive affirmations. You'll receive promos from me. You'll receive, I think I can even send PDFs. So you'll get a lot of goodies from me when you sign up for my text community. So you will text the word bloom, and I'm putting it in the chat. So give me a second because I want to make sure that I type it correctly, and I don't want to type the words that I'm saying. All right. So again, this is free to sign up. And if you text me, what I like about it is I can text you back. So sign up if you have been looking for daily words. I love to just share my thoughts. I'm working on also kind of coming off of Instagram so much because it is a lot. And I want to be able to like truly enjoy people. And I know that being on social media can be overwhelming. You can be in the middle of enjoying something from somebody and then something else pops up or it closes down on you, something else comes up and you don't even get to go back to who you were listening to or looking at, right? So we're going to remedy that because we're doing healing over here. And when it comes to you healing yourself, I don't want you to miss out on anything, all right? So you can text the word bloom to this phone number, 833-361-5273, and I'm going to pin it. And that's how you can join my text community. And like I said, even when you text it, I can text it back so I can actually see the messages. So that's why I wanted to wait, make sure I gave you the correct number and I gave you information so you'll be able to, like I said, text me back. Let me also put my phone on silent because we don't have time for any interruptions. You are in a safe space. And now I'm going to talk to you all about the day 3 topic is be your own priority. Okay? We cannot keep doing what other people do to us. You know, I want you to think of the ways that you've made yourself an option instead of a priority in your life and how that made you feel. I know for me, when I think back on ways that I did it, it was listening to friends that wanted to hang out and it was peer pressure and I didn't want to necessarily be with them, but I didn't want to be the friend that seemed like the mean one, right? And if you can relate, drop a 1 in the chat for me. So I would still go places with people, do things I wasn't comfortable with just because I wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be the person that didn't have any friends. And even more important, I didn't want people reporting back that I wasn't a good friend because I would say no or cancel or put my own worth ahead of what was happening. I didn't know any better. So now, of course, I'm teaching my kids to know better, because what you feel and what you want to do is what is important. It doesn't matter what other people want to do. Other people will put you in a situation, leave you there and not care. That's why you have to work on setting boundaries and knowing who you are and knowing what you want in life, because you cannot continue to be led around by your nose. All right. So I want you to think about your focus. Focusing means prioritizing your own needs and desires. You need to focus on yourself. Stop being in a situation where you feel like you're wrong because you're focusing on yourself. Okay? Nobody is going to treat you the way that you want to be treated unless you know how you want to be treated. And how can you know how you want to be treated unless you are actually treating yourself as such? I know how it is to get upset at people doing you wrong and manipulating you and letting you down. But I want you to take a moment and honestly think, like, with all of these people that I'm upset with the way they treat me, are they following the way I'm treating myself? Am I treating myself like crap? I want you to drop a 2 in the chat for me if you practice self-care. If you're not sure what that is, that can be going out to the movies by yourself and just turning your phone off for that 2.5 hours and actually enjoying the movie, knowing that right now there's no responsibilities, everything is okay, because you need to pause and take care of yourself. It could be going to get your nails done just because that's what you like to do for you, not because you're trying to do it so your husband says that they are pretty, not because one of your friends say you look raggedy, you need to get it done. You're getting it done because that's what you want to do. Self-care is also journaling, being able to get the thoughts out of your head and put that negative self-talk to the side, and you can actually make space for yourself to be able to, like, just properly think, right? And self-care is also putting your dreams first, putting your goals first. And unfortunately, when you pause yourself and you don't make yourself a priority in life, that does go by the wayside. And then you wind up saying, X amount of years has gone by. What happened to me? What happened to the things that I wanted to do? We no longer want to do that, all right? Now, what I want you to do when you think about prioritizing your own needs and desires, I want you to think about the importance of that, right? The importance of that is that you aren't draining yourself to make others happy. All right. If you are a people pleaser, you drain yourself to make others happy. And if you don't know what people pleasing is, and you're like, I don't know if I'm a people pleaser. If you're somebody who does things just so other people can be happy with you and want you around and validate your existence, you are a people pleaser. You will make yourself unhappy if it makes somebody else happy. You will go above and beyond. You're always volunteering. And then at the end, you're left feeling like, well, nobody really cared about me because nobody checked in on me. Nobody did anything for me. And you feel used. You cannot continue to be in people pleaser mode, because people pleaser mode does not put you first. You are literally overstepping your own boundaries for yourself to take care of yourself. All right. So I want you to think about that. Giving energy to all of the different aspects in your life is how you bloom. All right. So I want you to think about, like I said, your goals, your self-care, even giving energy to your emotions. It's okay to be upset about things. It's okay to be angry about things that are not in your control. It's okay to be upset that somebody did something to you and you didn't like it. Unfortunately, in this world, especially as women, we're always taught to turn the other cheek. Be okay with that. Don't say anything. Just stand down. And if you agree with me, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat, because that can be very frustrating. Why do I always have to be the one to keep my mouth closed and be demure, but other people can just walk all over me? I don't have time for that. I got time for some boundaries, though. So being able to give your energy to different aspects of your life is what happens when you unpause and make yourself a priority. I cannot stress enough the importance of making yourself a priority in your life. I know how it is when you're a mother and you want to take care of your babies, and especially if you've had a bad life or you had a bad relationship, either while you're a parent or before you became a parent, and you don't want anyone else to suffer like you. So you want to make sure you take care of their needs, you put them first, but you're suffering in doing that. You're suffering in all of the excess energy you end up putting into other people because you're not pouring back into yourself. When you take the time to put energy into your priorities, it is like watering your garden, right? Every flower is for something different. You got a flower that represents your goals. You got a flower that represents your self-care. You got a flower that represents your mental health, your physical health, your job, your place that you stay, everything, right? Imagine if you have 17 flowers, but you only water 2. The other 15 are going to die. The other 15 need energy. Energy is the water, right? You have got to keep in mind that if you're not taking care of yourself, that is a big flower to neglect. You can't get mad at somebody that you're in a relationship with for neglecting you if you're neglecting yourself. Nobody wants to be around somebody who does not have any goals, does not have any hobbies. It's okay if you don't have any friends. Things happen, you know what I'm saying? But you want to make sure that you are doing things that put a smile on your face. They bring you back to a sense of power and freedom. And I want you to drop a 3 in the chat for me if this is something that resonates with you and you've been trying to figure out ways to have those goals and dreams without feeling guilty. When you started realizing that you made yourself an option instead of a priority, one of the things that possibly happened is you stopped making time for your goals and hobbies because you felt selfish. If you can relate to that, drop a 4 in the chat for me. I know how that is because I used to be a fashion designer. And in me designing, I used to love just like sitting down and having ideas, and I would take my book and I would just draw and sketch, and I would see other things like maybe when it was the award shows like the Oscars and stuff, I would see what people put on and I would come up with my designs. And I used to love that time because I don't even know how much time I put into that, but I know I used to just do it. And I realized one day, like I found this stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done this in so long. So one of my promises to myself this year is to get back into art because I like to draw. I like to create. It just helps me. It's like a release. And I put it to the side because it was, oh, I can't afford to buy any art supplies right now. I got to take care of the kids. I got to do this for the house. And, thinking all of these things. But guess what? As I'm doing all of these things, I'm making time and finding money to do things for the kids. I'm making time and finding money to get things for my husband. I'm making time and finding money to get other things that I need that are important. And I'm just as important. And I want you to understand that too. You are just as important as anything else in your life. Do you have to wait sometimes and have patience to get things? Yes, sure. I'm not saying go out here and go crazy and not have your priorities in order, but you should be one of the priorities that you're taking care of because you have a responsibility to yourself to make sure that you're okay. Finding a balance for yourself as a priority takes time, but you're worth it. I do not want you to fall into this habit of looking at social media and looking at people who are saying they're traveling and doing all the things and their lives look perfect. And you're like, oh, I'm failing. I don't have anything done the way I want. Everything in my life sucks. No, it does not. Right now, I can guarantee you that you're living at least one of your prayers right now. If you truly think about life when you were at one of your lowest points in the past, you prayed for something that you have right now. You did. I can guarantee you. I know I pray for stuff that I have. I pray for the house that I'm in right now. I grew up in a room and shared a bed with my mother and my sisters at one time. I prayed to be able to have enough space that me and my family did not feel like we were on top of each other. I prayed for a family that actually loved me and wanted me around. Here I am, So I want you to think about that because life can just beat you up so much that you really start surviving and you don't even realize that you're surviving because when you got to that pinnacle, that height where it's like, I have to survive. I have to choose being able to just fight through and I have to shut my emotions off right now and shut off the way that I feel. When you were all the way up there and you were in strict 100% survival mode, you feel like you never came down. And that's something, it's like PTSD. You feel like when you get to that point where you had to struggle, whether it was by yourself or with your family or with your children, you feel like it's never over. And you will continue to go through life and realize, like, you know what? It's been 20 years since I had that struggle, and I was really still living in survival mode, and I had no idea. I cannot believe that I let so much time go by and I neglected myself. You don't have to live like that. Today is the day that you can actually choose to unpause and make yourself a priority. All right? You do not have to keep yourself paused because your kids are small. You don't have to keep yourself paused because you want to make sure that your husband is okay because he's been through a lot. You don't have to keep yourself paused because you're waiting until you find another job that will make life so much easier for you, because there's going to always be something. And this is why I speak to you about emotional wellness. Emotional wellness is the ability to manage life stresses. Life is going to keep handing you stuff, but you cannot stay in your head and drive yourself crazy over it. You cannot allow negative self-talk to constantly win, and you start beating yourself up for all the things that you don't have, and you look at other people's lives and they seem perfect, and you're like, well, you know, I can't do any of these things because I don't have these things that these people have. That does not matter. What matters is you focusing on what you want and actually having faith in it. So for Tasha G, the Transformation Guide, 4 themes or pillars that I constantly speak on are self-acceptance, self-worth, emotional vulnerability, and optimism. These 4 things cover everything that you will need in your life to make yourself feel better. If you look at my live from last night, I covered that when I spoke on emotional wellness, and I broke those down so you can fully understand what they mean. It is so important to be able to know who you are in life, to know how to love yourself despite everything that you've gone through, to be able to take risks and say, you know what, even though life has beat me up and there have been times I haven't gotten what I wanted, I know that I deserve to try. Because if I let this opportunity pass and I didn't even try, I'm going to feel worse. And more importantly, faith. You have to have faith that God has something better in store for you if you're not truly happy. If you're not truly happy in all of the aspects of your life, that means that you have to put the work in to find out what will make you happy, how will make you happy, when you can get to it, and what you can be doing in the interim to get to it. Nobody's going to sit at home and pray for something and God is going to just drop it in your lap. God or the universe, depending on what you believe in, right? You've got to put the work in, because as you put the work in, there are so many other valuable things you're going to learn along the way. There are so many other valuable people you're going to meet along the way. I'm so grateful that I took the risk that I did to move out of New York because God told me to. And to come to Maryland and meet the people that I've met and be able to experience people who have gone through similar situations as me, but they feel like when they talk to me, they can get some relief. When they talk to me, they're able to go through that emotional vulnerability. They're able to find that optimism. They're able to realize that they are aware that they can work on their self-acceptance and self-worth. That's important. And especially if you have children, especially if you have a family, you've got to work on you, because if you're not good, your family is not good. I don't care what nobody says. I want you to think back on the old grandmas and aunties that were giving everything to the family. They would even eat last, and what they was doing, falling down with strokes and heart attacks, never smiling, or if they did it, it seemed just so fake. You didn't know much about her. She was always waiting for somebody to recognize her. It's your time to be seen and heard. You do not have to wait for somebody else to tell you that you are valuable. You don't have to wait for somebody else to tell you that you are worthy of the things that you dream of. I want you to drop a 5 in the chat for me if you have dreams for yourself and your family. If you dream of having a nice big house with a nice backyard, if you dream on being able to take at least 2 or 3 trips a year, maybe some with your girls, some with your partner, and then some with your kids. If you want to be able to have the freedom to buy 2 dozen eggs if you want to, and not be like, oh my gosh, eggs are crazy right now. You want to be able to take care of your needs, right? I want you to drop a 5 in the chat for me if this resonates with you, because the only way you're going to get there is by putting in the hard work. You have to be able to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be able to say, yes, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm going to take the energy that's coming from me feeling overwhelmed and I'm going to say, I feel this way because there's something that I can do about my situation. I'm not going to sit in this and say, well, I'm going to feel overwhelmed to the point where I'm going to shut down and not be able to function. And then everybody's going to be looking at me like, we were waiting on you. You're the leader. That's what mothers are. That's what women are. We're leaders. When we have a family, when we're caregivers, we are leaders. And they are literally waiting for us to make the next move. You will not feel confident in making the next move if you're not taking care of yourself. It's just not going to happen. And this is not about going out and getting the next Birkin bag or all of the materialistic things. What do you want? If you want the Birkin bag, that's fine. That's you. But embrace it, accept it, and start working towards getting what you want. Okay? Now, these are 3 things that I want you to consider when it comes to the ways that you made yourself an option and not a priority. Please consider these things when you're thinking about taking the time to unpause and make yourself a priority. I want you to forgive yourself and be kind to yourself. Now, I know this is big, and I put this one first because I know how difficult it is to forgive yourself and be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself for the childhood that you had, and you're like, there should have been something else I could have done to make myself happy. No, it's not your fault. Forgive yourself for those previous relationships that you were in when you were younger, and you just did the best you could. You had no idea what you were doing. You had no idea how to make somebody else happy when you weren't even making yourself happy. You got to forgive yourself. The same kindness that you would give to a stranger, or the same kindness that you would give to a friend when they tell you how bad they are to themselves and they want to beat themselves up, give that to yourself as well. You deserve kindness. And when you start to give yourself your own kindness, you will be amazed by how good you feel. When I started to give myself the kindness I was giving to other people, I was like, why did it take me so long to do this? Why was I not doing this every day? What is wrong with me? Then I had to stop doing that because I was beating myself up. So it is a journey to be able to mentally retrain yourself to stop thinking about yourself so bad because your mother didn't love you or your father wasn't around. You were abused. You were neglected. You moved a lot, so you didn't have friends. You became a mom too early. You got married too early. Like, stop beating yourself up about these things. These are choices, and every choice has a way for you to say what you want to do next in it. So remember, you still have power. And when you forgive yourself and you're kind to yourself, you're actually taking your power back. I want you to let people feel how they feel about you. Something that I love, I don't know, I think it was Iyanla Vanzant that said it. I don't remember, but I love this quote. How somebody else feels about me is none of my business. When I started realizing that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not trying to showboat and prove to people how great I am. That's not my responsibility. That's not what I'm here for. I don't have to make sure that somebody likes me because they can be faking it for all I know. And again, that's none of my business. You can think whatever you want to think about me. What is important and matters is what I think of myself. And that's what I want you to start thinking about. Ooh, had to get a drink. It's also tea with Tasha today. It's Thursday. I'm going to turn that around because they ain't paying me for that. But anyway, I want you to really embrace not giving a crap what other people think about you. You will run yourself ragged. Oh, but I got to make sure this looks right. I got to make sure that the kids are saying this. I got to make sure that when I go out, I have this so people can think of me. Listen, you can do all the things and people will still talk bad about you. I just heard a song earlier and the guy was like, they even talk bad about Jesus. What are you going to do? Take that same energy that you're focusing on other people and thinking, I got to make sure everybody thinks I'm perfect. Take that same energy, focus it on yourself, and make sure that you're okay. Make sure that you are your number one priority. Fill those voids that you have in yourself and say, you know what? I want to feel better, and I'm going to figure out how. Hey, how you doing? And that's another thing. Start saying to yourself, how can I feel better? How can I get myself out of this rut? And with people like me around, that's what we're here for. We are offering the solutions that you need. And once you admit that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're overwhelmed, and you have indeed made yourself an option in your life instead of a priority, it can literally change your life. And last but not least, confront your fears. You have got to confront your fears. You have got to let the fear go. Let's trade the fear in for excitement of the unknown. Okay? I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother had so many fears. I didn't realize how many of them were literally like placed into my body by osmosis. The things that she feared was so crazy, and I never understood why she feared them, and she didn't know why she feared them either. It could have been because she grew up down south and she was born in the 30s, and she went through some things and she just never felt safe. It could have been that. It could have been that she never took the time to get to know who she was, so she was scared to know who she was and never thought that anybody else would accept her. I don't know. But I know what I learned from her is all the things that I don't want to do and I don't want to be when I'm older. I don't want to be in my 80s or my 70s hoping that my children want me around. I want to know that they want me around because they know that I did my best. And they know that I taught them the things that they needed to know as adults to be good, to be kind, and to just make sure that they are taking care of themselves and making themselves a priority. And that's difficult teaching as you're learning it. It's like building a plane while it's flying. But it's exciting because at least I feel my power. I feel the power that I have in teaching others tools that I know that they need. And that's the most important thing. You've got to understand that as an adult, you have power. Even if people took your power from you when you were younger and they made you feel like crap and they made you feel like you weren't supposed to be around, that's on them. That's their hang up. That has nothing to do with you. You forgive them for yourself so you are not drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You are forgiving them so you can make space in your life for the positive abundance and blessings that are coming for you. But the only way you can do that is by moving them out of the way. Hey, how you doing? So again, I'm going to go over those 3 things because I see a couple people just join. If you have been making yourself an option instead of a priority, these are 3 things I want you to consider so you can get out of that rut. I want you to forgive yourself and be kind to others. Forgive yourself and be kind to yourself. You are top priority in your life. When you're okay, everybody else will be okay. But you cannot continue to put others before you because that's like taking a drug. It's like an addiction. It's a short-term fix. But when you work to put yourself first in your life and make sure that you know who you are and what you like and what you need and how you feel, it's a game changer. It's like finding your soulmate because you are your soulmate. You are with yourself more than anybody else in the world. You got to know who you are. Second thing I want you to think about is let people feel how they feel about you. What somebody else thinks about you is none of your business. It is not your job to present to other people so they feel comfortable and they know what box you're in. You have an obligation to yourself to make sure that your happiness is your birthright and you're working on that and you're protecting your peace and energy. You're setting the proper boundaries so people aren't walking all over you and you're not a people-pleasing doormat. The only way you're going to do that is by giving yourself time and energy. Give yourself the attention that you give to other people, especially those people that you think are going to turn around and give you attention, but instead they're manipulating you. We don't have no time for that. All right. We are learning to unpause and make ourselves a priority, right? So we don't got time for people using us and manipulating us. That's out the door. And last but not least, confront your fears. Whatever those fears are, if you are scared about finally telling your husband how you feel about your relationship, if you're scared to tell your children that the attitudes they're giving you are not going to fly because it's hurting your feelings, if you are scared to tell your boss at work that you don't like the way that they speak to you and treat you, you got to confront that. Because what happens is if you keep on squishing stuff down and squishing it down, eventually it won't squish down no more. It has to go somewhere. You don't want it to be that your job is getting on your nerves so you come home and take it out on them. You don't want it to be that your home is getting on your nerves so you go and take it out on your job. You don't want it to be that your home or your job is getting on your nerves and you take it out on your children. Everything has a solution, and the solution starts with confronting yourself and confronting your fears. You will feel so much lighter When you're able to say, you know what, I had a problem and I actually talked about it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I found the answer. Will everything be perfect? No. Well, sometimes you have to go through a little hurt and a little bit of unexpected shifts and changes. Yeah, of course. But the point of everything is you have got to learn how to unpause and make yourself a priority. So it gets easier and easier to choose yourself. You can't expect somebody else to choose you if you haven't chose yourself. Thank you. You are first and foremost always. Please remember that. Okay. And with that being said, if you just came in, I want you to text the word bloom to 833-361-5273. It's actually pinned. I will be sending out things to my text community like affirmations, promos, offers, products and services, all types of stuff. So just make sure that you sign up. And for those who were on last night, thank you so much. 2 people have already signed up for the session that I plan on announcing on Sunday, because Sunday y'all have to come and get on the live. I got some announcements for y'all, but 2 people were just like, I can't wait, I'm interested. So they've already been sent the information. If you're interested, I am having a master class on this subject. It is time to unpause and make yourself a priority, because you are the most important person in your life. And to me, it's unfair for you to walk around and speak or think so badly of yourself because you feel like you never make time for you. I want you to drop a 6 in the chat for me if you feel like you give so much to everybody else in your life, but you don't even have enough to give yourself. You make sure the kids are good, your partner's good, you're probably taking care of grandma, mommy, auntie, grandpa, uncle, the neighbors, your co-workers, probably teachers at school. You're taking care of all of these people, and then when it's time for you to do something for you, you literally collapse. You're like, I can't do anything else. I got to go to bed. I'll wait. Tomorrow I'll go to the gym. Next month I'll go to the gym. I'll start next year. New year, new me. If you've been saying, yeah, I'm going to start going to get my nails done because I got to do something for me. But every time you get to the door, you turn around and you're like, ugh, I can't spend this money right now. But then the kids need something and you spend the money on them. That's got to stop. Y'all know this is my baby, Mr. Cream. Hi, Cream. Oh, look at him. He's being such a good boy. Look. Oh, the little queen. Hi. That's got to stop. Now, and I see I got some 6s in the chat. So I'm going to ask y'all, why don't you go follow through with something for you? I don't want to assume. I like to hear people's answers because you never know how your sharing can affect and help someone else to think. I know for me, when I had paused myself and didn't make myself a priority, I honestly didn't feel like I deserved it. I thought that I was supposed to give myself to my children because my parents didn't give themselves to me. So I thought that my children needed to be my focal point. I had to throw everything into them. I had to make sure that I didn't miss out on giving them anything that I didn't get. So I made sure they had great birthdays. I made sure that when we went out, they were able to eat out. All this was stuff I didn't get to do. But then I realized this was not filling a void. It was just making me feel more aggravated because I wasn't really enjoying any of it. I was kind of like security being there. You know, security at a party, you're not partying. You're just there to watch out. That's what I was doing. I'm taking them out, doing stuff with them, and I'm just on the sidelines watching and not necessarily having a good time. So when I realized, I said, you know what? I want to do some things and I want people to be there with me, but know that you're here because this is something that I want to do. And I want you to participate and enjoy the same way I participate and enjoy the things that you like to do. Oh, so cute. Thank you. I just feel like I do without it since I haven't done it or had it. Oh, you feel like you can do it. I understand. So what if I told you today, you can choose one thing, just one goal when you work with me in a master class, and we can focus on that one goal for you to be able to take care of yourself without feeling selfish. Because you know that's another thing too. Whenever we do something for ourselves, when you have been putting yourself to the side, you feel so selfish. Like, oh, how can I do something for me? This is so wrong. And you do it and you don't even get to enjoy it. But then the kids ask for something, or the hubby asks for something, or your partner asks for something, you instantly give it to them. That's got to stop. You deserve just as much as anybody else in your life to be happy and be a priority. So with that being said, I want y'all to think about what it is that you need right now. And if you truly and fully understand emotional awareness, emotional wellness, sorry. And if you're not aware, I want to let you know that if you click the link in my bio, I do have an emotional wellness toolkit. It is for free and you can download it, and it gives you some articles that will help you understand more about emotional wellness. A lot of us who are not dealing with emotional wellness and making sure we feel good, we are not forgiving ourselves for stuff. I've got myself in this situation, so I don't deserve anything better. I'm the reason why everything is shit right now, so I don't deserve anything better. No, you can't think that way. You literally have to manifest the best into your life. So if you know that you want to get to the point of owning your own home and traveling and just having the freedom to do whatever it is you want, you've got to start believing that you deserve it. That's that optimism I was talking about earlier. You have to have the faith in yourself that you believe that you deserve this stuff and that God and you are going to make a way together. You got to work for it. But you can't work if you're so exhausted after doing stuff for everybody else. So I want you to drop a 7 in the chat if you have been feeling like you need some support and accountability with working through this. Like, you know, you need to unpause and make yourself a priority, but it just feels so weird and awkward. And you're like, I'm not going to be able to continue it because it's going to be something for me. I want you to be honest, because these are the first steps that you take to be able to get yourself to the next level. Like, you can literally change your life in a year if you decide to start taking steps. Will everything change and everything be a whole complete 180? I can't say for sure because I'm not the one that's in charge. You're in charge of your life. But I know that I decided to make changes in my life. And when I did, I may not have stuck with everything, but eventually, as I started moving forward, I started finding myself. I started finding the things that I liked. I started finding that it was okay if I didn't want to be around my family. And it was okay to tell them. I didn't have to fake the funk. It felt so good. It felt good telling people, no, I don't want to come to this event, or no, I don't want to go out today, just because I said no. I just don't want to. It felt so good to be able to protect my mental peace. And more importantly, it felt so good to not be a robot and a people-pleasing doormat constantly saying, I'll help you. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll do this. Now, people know if you get any of my time and energy, it's because I really, really deal with you. So you better be grateful, because this don't come cheap. I know my worth. I know my value, and I am charging accordingly. And yesterday's price is not today's price. It constantly goes up, because every day I'm like, I'm my own competition, and I'm better than I was last year. I'm better than I was last month. I'm better than I was last week and yesterday. And you can do the same thing for yourself. You just got to believe that you deserve it. You have to believe that you need to be a priority in your life. You need to look around at your situation and say, the reason that things are not happening for me the way that I want right now is because I keep stopping myself from being happy. Why stay in a relationship with somebody and you're not happy just to be able to say that you have somebody? Doesn't make sense, right? Why allow your children to talk to you like crap or not listen to you and be disrespectful when you know that that does not make you happy? Why allow your boss to talk down to you and do things to you that make you feel less than when you know that that's not what you deserve? A lot of this stuff comes from us, unfortunately, reliving that childhood trauma constantly. First off, we don't want to admit we got the trauma. When you don't admit you got the trauma, that's how you keep yourself in it. I did that for years. I thought I was dreaming. I thought I made it up. And then I was like, there's no way I made this up. There's no way that this did not happen. I was there, right? And then after you accept and embrace that you had the childhood trauma, you have to give yourself space to grieve, all right? Because when you don't, fear is what keeps creeping in on you. Fear is what starts to dictate your life. And then you start trying to subconsciously fix the trauma with the people and the situations you put yourself in. You don't believe me? I want you to think about this. The person that you first dated, yes, or you normalize, yes. The person that you first dated is probably somebody that you wanted to fix with your childhood trauma, right? So if you came from a place where your parents didn't love you, you probably smothered the person that you were with. Think about it. If you came from a situation that was abusive, you were probably always defensive. Oh, ain't nobody getting me. I'm going to be the one in charge. The bullied love to become the bully. It's nothing like being able to take power back, but doing it to the wrong people is not right. So you have to make a choice and a decision and say, you know what? I am tired of living that way. And like I said yesterday, most people who start working with me, they have been on their hands and knees crying. And they said to God, like, I'm tired of this. I need change. I don't know what I need. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I know this ain't it. I know I'm tired of living this way. I know if I'm tired of feeling like I don't matter to anybody. Why does nobody love me the way that I feel like I want to be loved? Why does nobody need me the way that I feel like I want to be needed? How am I always there for everybody and giving them a safe space and making sure that they're secure, but nobody's doing that for me? You know why? Because God is literally saying to you every day, please do this for yourself. Because when you do this for yourself, the level of attraction that you have to the things that you want in your life increases. I am grateful that my husband saw something in me when I was at some of the worst points in my life, and he decided to choose me then and help me grow. God put him in my life to be one of the catalysts to help me see myself. He was literally my mirror. The days that I felt like I wasn't nothing, he's telling me how beautiful I am. He's accepting me. He's loving me. He's telling me, ever since I met you, I knew you was going to be good. I knew you was going to be something great. And look at you now. We have to be that for ourselves too. I had to look in the mirror and start saying, dang, yeah, he right. Sure. He absolutely right. Look at me. I am beautiful. Like, everything about me is beautiful in so many aspects. When I start thinking about who I am and what I love, I am beautiful. I had to get there though, because my mother wasn't telling me that. My father wasn't telling me that. The people I live with, they weren't telling me that. And it breaks you down. But you've got to be kind to yourself and forgive yourself for thinking the way that the bums thought, for thinking the way that the haters thought. You cannot continue to live in that circle if that's not what you want. You got to let the toxic stuff go. And toxicity is so easy. Oh my gosh, but it's like playing chess or checkers. Yeah, you can figure out checkers real quick, right? Figure out that toxicity real quick. You know, be defensive, have sparring matches with people, go back and forth talking, be petty, be destructive. But if you're playing checkers, you got to take your time and study and think, all right, I'm in a negative situation right now. How do I handle this? I can do a checkers move and really fuck everything up, or I can do a chess move and I can ask questions, because I'm dealing with another human over here that's living their life, and I need to know if what they did was intentional or if they did was directed towards me, and then I'll know how to handle it. That's growth. Because I'm telling you, the old me, petty as hell. I've done some petty things that I won't even say out loud. I'm being honest. But the new me that has grown, I'm like, let me ask a question. Let me get some more information before I let the Hulk out. Because once the Hulk is out, that's over. But that's a part of me growing with emotional wellness. Learning how to manage life stress. Learning that just because in my childhood and early adulthood, it felt like everything was always targeted at me and everybody was treating me bad and it was always intentional, I remove myself from those people and those type of situations, so I can't think that that's still my life. I got to play the opposite side of the coin now, you feel me? So I want you to join my text community, because being able to hear from me every now and then and read the information that I share can be really, really helpful to you. Look at this big cat. And I want to see you grow. I want to see you win. I'm all about breaking generational curses, and the only way we're going to do that is by having support and help. So if you've been looking for someone to help hold you accountable through the process of learning who you are, learning how to love yourself, learning how to make yourself a priority, and just learning how to grieve that past pain, you need to text me. If you've been looking for somebody who is offering solutions to what you're going through, being able to have a non-judgmental space where you can actually discuss things that stay between you and this good girlfriend, and you're able to find out, like, wow, I didn't realize that was bothering me, and now I'm glad I said it out loud. Being able to get that support, and then as you let go of that negative, we replace it with something positive. You need to text me. We need to talk. Okay, so I hope y'all join me tomorrow night. This is going by fast. Like I started going live on Tuesday, and it's really going by quick. But I just want to thank y'all for joining. Make sure you click the link in my bio, look around, grab that emotional wellness toolkit. But if you sign up for my email list, on my text list, I will text you the emotional wellness toolkit so you can have the information. All right. But just start working on yourself. It's time for you to unpause and make yourself a priority. You start by joining the rest of these IG Live series moments. So from now to Sunday, and you can go back and watch the one from Tuesday and Wednesday, you will be able to get some clarity on why you've been feeling the way you're feeling. And you'll be able to understand that you're not alone and that there are solutions out there to help you be better. You don't have to let the past pain win. It's time to heal, bloom where you are planted. All right? Y'all take care.